What's up everybody, it is Dancam, and I am back with another video. And guys, we're gonna be taking a look at the all new LIAN Unifan SL Infinity 120s. I'll unbox them, show you everything they come with. We'll go ahead and install them in my PC. We'll take a look at the software for it, and we'll go over all the features. And at the very end, I'll go ahead and review my experience with these fans. So without further ado, let's go ahead and let's get into it. All right, dudes, let's go ahead and get this thing unboxed. Do a complete little 360 of the packaging here. And there's some specifications and other features if you want to pause it and take a look. All right, so now that we're unboxed, let's take a look at everything that comes in the package. And just to let you guys know, I'm just gonna show you what comes in the package for right now, but the next segment is gonna show you exactly how all this ties together and how you install it in your PC. So it's gonna come with 3 fans, and these fans are absolutely beautiful. This is gonna be your intake side, and this is your exhaust side. And you can see that beautiful mirror finish. You can see my camera up there. So that looks amazing. I really wish they would use this mirror finish on both sides, but it is what it is, I guess. We've got your connections. Let's put that down. We've got 3 sets of screws to help secure the fans to your case. We've got these little protective covers that goes on the mirror sides of the edges of the fan. So these will protect it from smudges and scratches. We've got 4 cables here, and these will control your lighting and also your fan control with 1 cable, so that's pretty sweet. So these can be hooked up individually to each fan, or you can link up to 4 fans and use 1 cable to actually power all of them, so that's pretty sweet. We've got our controller here. Let's go ahead and remove this. So this will power all of our fans, as well as other LIAN devices like the Galahad AIO. So that's pretty sweet. And then we've got our connections on bottom. And this is how we're gonna power it and all that good stuff. And it's got 2 SATA power connectors. We have got a USB header that plugs into your motherboard, and this will plug into your controller. Oops. We've got this side right here and this cable that plugs into the controller, and this will plug into your system fan header or fan header on your motherboard, and then this will plug into a 5-volt RGB header. We've got little double-sided tape thing, and this will secure your controller to your case. So you tape that to that, and then this will go on your case wherever you decide to mount it. We've got a splitter cable here, and I'll show you how this works later. We've got a little sheet that shows you how to install the cables. It shows you how to link the fans together, and also shows you how to connect your fans to the controller and connect the controller to your motherboard. And then we've got this large colored little sheet, and this will show you how to use L-Connect 3, which is the software used to control lighting and also fan speed. So that's everything that comes in the package. So let's go ahead and get into how to hook up all of this to your PC. All right, dudes, let's get into how to hook up each of the fans together, how to hook them up to your controller, then how to hook up the controller to your motherboard. And first, we'll start off with the fan. So you're gonna see connections on this side and connections on this side. So these ones right here are basically the side for the cable. And this side right here is to link this fan to other fans. So let's show you how to link these together. So obviously make sure your mirror logos are the same way, or these logos, depending on their orientation. And you're gonna see a couple notches. You're gonna see this notch right here and this notch right here. And then you're gonna see the female side over here. So you're basically just gonna slide it in place. So let's get this in view. So it's gonna sit like that, and then you're just gonna click it into place. So let's grab these, line up the notches as best we can, and then just slide over. And then now we have a set of linked fans together. So let's take these apart, and then just say this end of the fan is going to be against a radiator, and you're going to have your inlet and outlet tube right here, and these may interfere with that. These are removable. So all you're going to do is just turn it 90 degrees, if I can get it to focus, and then these just pull out. So you can have a nice flat surface. So much better for aesthetics, and depending on if you're mounting it against a radiator. So super cool. So now let's talk about the cable. So on top here, you're gonna notice that this slot is actually a little bit longer than this slot. And it's gonna be the same thing with our cable. Actually, let me grab the cable that's already undone. All right, so you can see that this side is a little bit longer than the other side. So that's basically how these are gonna slide in. It's super easy, and you can actually slide it in the wrong way. So you're just gonna line up the holes like that, and you're literally just gonna push it over. So boom, that is connected. And the cool thing is, this now can power up to 4 connected fans, which is awesome. And the cool thing about this top piece is you can see how my cable's this way, but just say I wanted to have the cable going this way, depending on its orientation in the build. All you're gonna do is just push this over with your fingernail. And then let's see if I can get this on film. So you're gonna bring this up, and then now our cable's exposed. And the cool thing is we can just drape this over the other way, get our little top piece again, and then the notch is gonna be facing the other way to allow the cable to pass through. And all we're gonna do is grab it and then slide it over. So now our cable is now facing that way. So super sweet. So let's actually link some fans up. I can show you how this looks if I get them the right way. So let's get these lined up, match them up, and bring them together. And you'll know you're lined up. Do you see these notches right there? That'll let you know that you are lined up. So that right there is unlocked. And then when you slide them over, that means that they are locked together. So now we have 2 fans, and this cable will power both of them. And just say I were to connect these fans to this end, this cable will power all 4 fans, and that includes fan speed and also RGB controls. So that's awesome, minimizes cables, looks much cleaner, so super cool. So let's put this down. That's pretty much it for the fans. So let's talk about the controller now. So here is our controller that comes with the 3-pack. This does not come with the single pack. So on here, you're gonna have 2 SATA cables. And from what I understand, this SATA cable right here that has 4 cables powers the 4 connections for our fans. So this end of our fan right here, this is gonna plug into this slot right here. So now this controller is powering these 2 fans, since those are linked together. So in order to power this controller, this SATA will power these 4, like I was saying, and then this SATA cable will power these 2. And these ones are to power other LIAN devices. So you can power like the Galahad AIO and other LIAN devices with these. So if you're not using those, you do not have to plug in the 2-wire SATA. But I would plug it in just to be sure, just to have it in. But that's it, that's what powers the controller. So now we have these 2 set of fans powered. So let's go ahead and show you the bottom here. So let's see if I can get this in the picture. So we have this USB, this micro USB cable down here, and this LIAN connection. So the way to properly hook up these fans is it's gonna come with this cable So the micro USB to USB. So this will plug into a USB header on your motherboard. So all you're gonna do is plug this in the bottom. And then this will go into a USB header. And now with the LIAN software, L-Connect 3, I can go ahead and power RGB and fan speed. So I can just plug this in and then I'm good to go. If I want this controller to sync with my motherboard RGB, I'm gonna go ahead and use this cable. So this end right here, it's gonna be hard to focus, there we go. That's gonna plug in right here. And then we've got a 4-pin PWM that's gonna plug into a system fan header. And then we have a 5-volt RGB. So you don't have to use this one, but if you want it to sync with your motherboard's RGB, which I will not be doing, I don't have any other RGB besides the fans, so I will not be using this cable. So you can actually use either or, but I would recommend the micro USB one so you can take advantage of L-Connect 3 and everything through there. So that's basically how you plug it in. So let's do a little scenario here. So we just say we've got my two AIO fans, my radiator fans, and then we're gonna have one exhaust fan. So what we're gonna do is, let's pull out this cable right here, get this undone. So now that I've got that undone, let's just say this 120 is gonna be an exhaust fan. So I'm gonna go ahead and slide this into place. So that's connected. Now we're gonna take my cable, go all the way over here to our controller, plug this in, and now I've got my two AIO fans and my rear 120mm fan powered, and we're good to go. And these also do come with a splitter. So just say you have a bunch of single fans, you can Y-split with these two. So let me take this one back out. I can show you. These plug in very solidly. I can't even get this out. There we go. So this will go into here. Just say another fan will go into here, then this will plug into the controller. The only thing is, if you're Y-splitting, do not plug in more than 4 per connector. One side can only power up to 4, so do not overload the controller. Just remember, a max of 4 fans can be powered with one of these connection ports. So other than that, I think that's it, guys. I think we covered just about everything. So let's go ahead and let's get these installed. I don't know what I'm doing with my hands, but let's get these installed in my PC. All right, so now that we've loaded L-Connect 3 software, it's most likely gonna take you to the update page, but if it doesn't, you're gonna wanna click settings, you're gonna wanna click update, and make sure you download and install all applicable updates or your fans most likely will not work properly. When I first booted up my system, the fans actually weren't spinning at all. So I didn't think there was an issue. I was actually kind of prepared for it, and I knew it was most likely to do something with the software. So as soon as I opened L-Connect 3 and installed all of the latest software, they were working properly. So keep that in mind if you plan on going with these fans. So after you do all updates, let's take a look at some of the other settings. So in general, we can auto start the program on boot. We can minimize L-Connect 3 when we close it, which I want. I always want it open because it handles RGB and fan speeds for me. We can select language and temperature display. In device, you can name each group of fans, which is awesome. So the first port on my controller are actually my top fans. So I've got that labeled as top, and then I've got my port 2, which are my rad fans, labeled as rad. So I know which fans I'm adjusting when I get into fan speed and RGB control. So we saw the update tab, and then I've also got a support tab over here as well. So let's head over to system info, and we've basically got all of our vitals at first glance. You can head over to system specs. It gives you a brief summary of what machine I've got currently. And then we'll head over to fan pump RPM. So firstly, if you plan on using your fan speed adjustments through the BIOS, you want to go ahead and make sure this is clicked on. But I'm going to be using L-Connect 3 for all of my fans that are currently in there, besides the AIO pump. That's actually controlled through my BIOS, but that's just completely separate. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this off. But if you want to use your motherboard's BIOS to adjust fan speed, make sure this is on. And then through here, you can adjust all fan speeds. They have a bunch of preset ones. And if you scroll down here, here's custom ones you can make and save, which is super cool. And you can adjust each set of fans individually. So I got my top fans and rad fans set on quiet right now, because my case, it's a height Y60 and it's currently an open design. So it has no glass panels. So the temps are fantastic. So I just keep them on quiet, but there is a standard speed, a high speed, and also a full speed. And then you can also drag and drop to make your own fan curve if you want to, but I actually think the fan curves that come with the program are actually pretty good. They're on a nice little curve. So I just leave mine on quiet, and then I'm just gonna click apply to all. And then you can also click start stop if you want the fans to stop spinning if the PC is not under load. Kind of how reference cards do. As you can see, it actually might be blocked by the program. But my GPU fans under 55 degrees Celsius just completely turn off because there's really no need for them to be on. So you can do that with all of the fans connected to the controller. So next we'll head over to quick sync lighting. So this tab is kind of useless. I mean, it's cool. You can just do kind of like a quick lighting thing, but you basically want to do everything under SL Infinity lighting. The only setting in here that you want to take a look at, if you're using your motherboard's RGB program, so if you want the RGB for your fans to sync to your motherboard RGB, you're going to want to click this. So when this is on, you can see I can't adjust anything. My Infinity lighting tab is grayed out. That means you're going to use your motherboard's RGB program, whatever it may be, to make all adjustments for RGB for anything connected to the board and then the fans. So I'm going to want to leave this off because I want L-Connect 3 to do everything for me. I'm not using my motherboard's RGB. So I'm going to leave this off, and then everything in here, it's cool. It's at like an at a glance, easy adjustment thing. But if you go in here, there's not really much to adjust. Like there's only 6 presets right here. But if you go into SL Infinity lighting, I'll show you this real quick. we've got way more. So other than switching this to on, I probably just wouldn't use this tab. So I would just head over to SL Infinity Lighting, and this is where majority of the focus is gonna be. You can set your fan mode per the port. So this is port 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if I want to switch, let's say my top fans to high speed, I can click apply and I'll change them to high speed. Or if I want all connected fans to be on high speed, I can do that. Let's just go back to quiet and apply, actually apply to all. This is where we're gonna do all of our RGB adjustments. So let's just go ahead and get into that. So let's go ahead and go over to rainbow. And then I basically have all of the ports that I want selected to light up. So I'm just gonna select all 4, but you can change just port 1 if you want, or just port 2, or just port 1 and 2, whatever you wanna do. So let's click apply to all. And that's gonna go ahead and change the RGB. And then we can change the speed. So it goes a little bit slower. We can change the brightness if you wanted to. And make sure you click apply to all, or apply anytime you make any adjustments. So you can see that's got a nice subtle glow. Let's bring this back up to 75% and 100%. You can also change the direction in which like the RGB kind of flows, which is cool. So let's go over to rainbow morph, click apply to all. I really like the transition between colors on this one. In my opinion, I'd probably go down to like 50%. You can see it's got like a nice change between each of the colors. So let's go over to static color, which is what I had. And then you can also do the same thing. You can kind of pick which colors you like. So let's just say I just want all red. Click apply to all. And now they're all red. I kind of like white, even though it's more of a bluish tint. I really like that color white. All right, so let's go over to breathing. Take a look at this one. That one's kind of interesting, and you can select each color for all of them, for each of the fans, which is cool. Let's go over to breathing rainbow. Oh, that's kind of cool. Let's go over to runway. So this is where you get into like just how crazy these fans can be as far as the RGB effect. And once again, you can change all these colors to whatever you want. So let's do red and white. Like that looks cool. Like there's some crazy adjustments you can do with these things. It's pretty much endless. Let's go to meteor, see how this looks. It's kind of like a siren effect. So that's cool. Go over to warning, see what this does. Oh, that's cool. Kind of bounces between the perimeter RGB and the center one. And it's changing colors while it does it. Man, these fans are crazy, I swear. So I'm not sure what voice does. It looks like it's just doing a kind of like a sweeping pattern. Mixing. I may have to update and let you guys know exactly what these do. Wow, that's really cool. Let's do white this one. That's pretty awesome, I gotta admit. I don't know if I would use any of these, but it sure is cool. All right, we got actually a lot more left. Got like 6 left. So here's stack. Let's do red and white. I just find it's crazy that while the fans are completely spinning, it could have the RGB flowing through it like this. It's absolutely nuts. I don't know how LIAN Lee did it. Here's tide. Here is scan. These are all kind of similar. Some of them are kind of alike, but probably different in a little bit of aspect. And I really like how it shows you the display on the software too, what it's gonna look like. Let's do door. What is door? Oh, I see. That's pretty cool. Let's over to heartbeat. That's super random but cool. You can see the infinity lighting on the sides working as well. And it's over to heartbeat runway. Interesting. Disco. Oh yeah, there we go. Let's get some white in there. Let's get red right here. Let's see how this looks. Yeah. Party time over here. And we got electric current as the last one. It's kind of jamming through each one. I like how it goes down all quickly. So let's go back to where I had it before, just all white. That's how I like it. I'm boring. I think this looks super cool. It like totally shows off my entire build. But that pretty much does it for L-Connect 3, guys. You can import and save your settings. So if you want to save a profile I have, you can go ahead and save it and then import it later on. Let's just making sure I'm not missing anything. You can change the colors like crazy. We kind of already talked about that. I think we kind of went over everything here. So that pretty much does it for L-Connect 3. All right, dudes, let's get into my review for the LIAN SL Infinity 120s. And I'm just gonna break this down into a pros and cons list. And we'll go ahead and start off with the pros. And the first pro is going to be quality. Now these fans do have a little bit of a weight to them, which isn't a bad thing, but they just feel super sturdy. They feel like they're made of very durable material. I'm not sure what they're made of. I mean, it's probably mostly plastic and other things, but they feel super solid. I don't foresee any issues with build quality or construction. I know LIAN has revised the bearings that they use inside them for the actual fan blades. So the quality and construction for these fans feels absolutely fantastic, and I don't foresee any issues in the future in that aspect. So the next pro is going to be RGB lighting, and I swear these have to be the craziest fans I've seen as far as lighting goes, from the brightness of them to the amount of adjustments you can make to the amount of presets they have, like rainbow and meteor and all of the crazy ones I discussed earlier. The amount of adjustments for these fans is nuts, and they're super bright. And I know I have my glass panels off right now, but even with them on, super bright. And the amount of adjustments for them is just absolutely crazy. Hands down the craziest RGB lighting I've ever seen. So the next pro is going to be the L-Connect software. So I found it's pretty easy to use and pretty intuitive. So if you're new to RGB software, or if you're just jumping into PC building and you decide to use these fans, I found the program very easy to use. My only advice would be to make sure you know which port on the controller you're using so you can name that group of fans. And then within the program, you can see that you're adjusting your top fans or your radiator fans or your bottom fans or your rear fan. So once you name them, you can make all of those adjustments super easily and you know which group of fans you're adjusting. So I thought that was super cool, but super easy to use. There's basically one tab you're gonna pay attention to. And I found that adjusting fan speed, setting fan curves, and adjusting all the RGB was super easy. So the next pro is going to be that these are 2,000 RPM. When I first heard about these fans, I for sure thought they were gonna be like 1100 RPM, 1200, 13, 1400, but I was pleasantly surprised to hear that they are actually 2000 RPM. So they'll be suitable for, a radiator, for case fans, for air cooler fans. They definitely do have a good static pressure as well, so you can use them in pretty much any scenario. And the 2000 RPM was super nice to see, so they will definitely keep your system cool. And the last pro I'm going to go over, which kind of goes in line with the RPM, is that these are very quiet. So I have mine set on the quiet mode and I can't hear them at all. And given it is around like 800 RPM, so it's pretty low, I can't hear them at all. I think the highest speed I've gotten these up to was about 1600, just doing some tests and messing around with the high speed. I haven't even checked full speed yet, but even at 1600, it wasn't that bad. And considering my glass panels are off, the fan noise was definitely doable, had no issues there. So I can see pushing these things at 1400 to 1800 RPM and no worries about like excessive fan noise or anything like that. So on that note, let's go ahead and let's jump into the cons. So the first con I want to get into is the packs that these are sold in. So these are either sold in a 3-pack with the controller or sold individually with no controller and no cable to hook up to the controller. So if you want this controller, you have to buy the 3-pack. So the 3-pack does come with 4 of the cables to link them to the controller, and you're probably not going to use all 4 individual cables to power those 3 fans. So if you bought the 3-pack, it would be easy to buy more individual fans and hook those up to the controller. But just keep in mind that individual fans are not sold with the controller. And as of now, I don't think the controller is sold separate, which I thought was a little funny. So the 3-pack will come with the controller and all those connections, while the individual fans won't have the controller, won't have the cable to hook up the controller. They'll actually only come with the 5-volt RGB header and then the 4-pin fan header. So you would plug them into a motherboard the same way, so you wouldn't be able to take advantage of L-Connect 3. So just keep in mind, if you're going with these fans, you'll probably want to get the 3-pack. So that's a little bit of a bummer. And that kind of segues me into my next con. And it's not really a con, but kind of is. But the price of these, so the 3-pack with the controller is $100. So they are a bit expensive, but kind of going back to all the pros, these fans are super high quality. The RGB lighting is absolutely insane. The fan speed, the RPM is awesome too. So I can see the price that they're asking for these as justified, but at the same time, they're very expensive. So 3 fans is going to set you back $100. So if you've got something like, like a LIAN dynamic case where you've got 3 fans up top, 3 fans on the side, 3 fans on the bottom, and 1 on the back, you're already looking at like $340, excluding tax, USD that is, just to have all of your fans match. So they are very expensive fans, but at the same time, they're super quality. And it seems like all the premium fans in this category are kind of all around that same price. So the next con is going to be the mirror finish on this. It's not really a finish. I guess I'll call it a sticker. But the mirror on the center of the fan is only on the exhaust side. So like say, take these, let me make sure I'm pointing at these, my radiator fans, those are set to intake to pull in. And that sticker is not the mirror finish. So if you have any fans that are going to be set as intake, you won't get to see that cool mirror sticker, the mirror infinity sticker. They only put it on the exhaust side. And I don't know why they couldn't just do it on the exhaust side and the intake. So if you have a setup where most of your visible fans are going to be intake, you're going to see the LIAN sticker rather than the cool mirror. So I'm not sure why they did that. It's kind of frustrating, especially considering these are $30 a fan. I think they easily could have just put the mirror finish on both sides. So I don't know why they did that, but it's a little bit annoying. So keep that in mind if you have a system that has a lot of visible intake fans. So the next one is kind of a big con, and I really haven't figured out what's going on. So hopefully someone down in the comments can help me out with this, but the memory for the controller doesn't save on reboot. So basically, every time I shut my computer off and turn the power supply off and reboot it, my RGB settings don't stay and my fan speed doesn't stay. So I have to go in there and set it to quiet and then set it to the RGB I like every single time I boot it. So obviously the controller's updated. I don't know what's going on, but it's pretty annoying that I have to go into the program every time I boot it just to change the fan speed and change the RGB settings. So hopefully a fix is coming out later for that, but I'm not even sure if it's possible because like a motherboard has a little battery on it to maintain the BIOS settings. When you completely shut off the computer, the battery provides a little bit of power to make sure all those settings stay. So I don't think the controller has any kind of battery or way to save the memory. So as of right now, the past 2 weeks, I've literally had to, when the computer boots, it asks if I want to run L-Connect 3. So I click yes, and I have to go in, change the fan speed, change the RGB, and then it stays. But I turn my PC off pretty much once a day at the end of the day when I'm done, and I have to change the settings every time. So that's a bit frustrating. I went on a bunch of forums. It seems like there's a motherboard setting I can adjust to deliver a small amount of power to the board to keep that memory alive. But I shouldn't have to do that. Like, that seems pretty ridiculous to have to change something on my motherboard in order for this controller to work properly. So hopefully somebody down in the comments can help me out and let me know what I'm doing wrong. But that's gonna wrap it up for my cons list, guys. Overall, I would highly recommend these fans. They are expensive, but they work super well. I just hope LIAN can come out with the fix for the memory adjustment. But other than that, I love these fans. I definitely plan to use them on all future builds. When I normally go with Noctua, and people that have subscribed to my channel for a while know that I love Noctua. So I finally put Noctua to the side and I'm going RGB, and I love these fans, and I'm excited to actually I've got a couple other builds coming up and I'll be using these fans, so I'm excited for those to see how it looks. Well, that's going to do it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button. I know this video was super, super long, but if you somehow stayed till this point, please like the video. Please subscribe if you're enjoying my content. I hope you guys all have a great day, and I'll see y'all in the next video.